smoker. Inside Story's Jennifer Lee catches up with guru Alan Carr to find out why the former chain smoker is on a mission.
Reach for one to relax, light up if you're bored, draw deeply if you're stressed, puff slowly to think clearly. The practical pleasures of a cigarette, the very reasons why so many smokers can't let go.
Well, I tried over and over again. I've tried for the 16 years and I could never do it. I just had it in myself. I just can't smoke. I have to smoke. Like, I can't give them up.
It's like an old friend. It's very difficult to give up. It's never easy if you're the smoker. To help people quit is not extremely difficult, but it's challenging.
Actually, it's a piece of cake. That is, if you chew on the words of this man.
You see, the truth is, it is actually easy to stop smoking.
Meet Alan Carr, a born-again non-smoker, a self-styled messiah with a mission to cure the world of smokers.
The other methods tell smokers that it's killing them, it's costing them a fortune. Smokers know that. They don't need somebody lecturing them. What they need is someone that will show them how to get free from the prison they're in. I provide the key for that prison, and that is my method.
It took Carr more than half his life to find that key. He was shackled to the habit for 30 years, smoking up to 100 cigarettes a day. Virtually every breath he took was laced with nicotine, and still he couldn't get enough.
Whenever I tried to stop, I was utterly miserable, and it was like being between the devil and the deep blue sea. I was miserable being the slave of the weed, and I was miserable without it. I used to hear these people that say, well, I woke up one morning, I had no desire to smoke, and I've never smoked again. For 30 years, I waited for that to happen to me. It never did happen. I realize now it never would have happened because I didn't understand it.
Until he received a bit of nudging from his wife and a little divine inspiration.
The actual clue, for whatever reason, that came through to me, I suddenly realized that it wasn't a weakness in me, that I didn't actually need to smoke. I suddenly realized that the whole business of smoking was just a huge, clever confidence trick on a gigantic scale.
A trick Carr did not want to fall for again. He decided to break free, and without procrastination or pain, he went cold turkey.
It was so easy. I went from 100 a day to 0 without the slightest bad temper or ill effects at all. I knew I'd never smoke again. I've never had the slightest urge to smoke since. And I knew that the method would work for all other smokers.
So Carr quit his job as a chartered accountant to spread the word. In the past 17 years, he's cured more than 20,000 smokers, including Sir Anthony Hopkins and Richard Branson. In fact, Branson was so impressed, he's playing Carr's instructional tapes on his airplanes for those passengers who didn't catch the video.
I'm Alan Carr, probably the worst nicotine addict you've ever laid eyes on.
What does this man have that other therapists don't? How about efficiency? Carr claims he can make anyone quit in just 4 hours, and he says 9 out of 10 usually do. No wonder it caught the attention of impatient Hong Kong smokers. It may be Carr's first visit to Hong Kong, but his popularity has preceded him. His clinics here at Matilda Hospital are already fully booked. 150 local smokers have signed up, and if all goes according to plan, at least 135 of them will be budding out for good. It's a small start to a growing problem. Health officials say there are now 687,000 smokers in the territory, more than 11% of the population. Cigarette smoking is also the #1 cause of death here, killing 3,500 people every year. But after Carr's first session in town, it appears that number may go down.
I've just noticed I've walked out. I left my cigarettes behind. I didn't notice I left them behind.
Do you think you're going to keep them behind?
Probably. That's the plan.
So have you quit?
Yeah, I feel already that I'm a non-smoker. It's unbelievable.
Pretty impressive testimony. So what's the secret?
Once you can explain to the smoker that it's not difficult to stop, that it's actually easy, then it becomes easy. Then instead of, I'd say the willpower method, building up all the things against it and then forcing yourself off the crutch or pleasure, once you realize that you don't need to smoke, you can enjoy life more, then you look at the health, the money, the social stigma. Instead of being powerful forces trying to force you off your crutch, they become additional positive gains happens.
In a nutshell, it's about convincing smokers they'd be giving up nothing in giving up smoking, that the pleasure they think they're getting is nothing more than an illusion.
Smokers say, well, it relieves boredom. In fact, it doesn't relieve boredom. When you're smoking a cigarette, which many of you now, you're not sitting there thinking, oh, this is really great. What a great intellectual exercise this is. It's the opposite.
Along with his empathetic rhetoric, Carr throws in a mixture of psychotherapy and hypnotherapy.
What you don't realize is even when you're smoking that cigarette, you are more nervous, less confident than you would be as a non-smoker. All you're relieving is this empty, insecure feeling of the body craving nicotine. Now, what you actually enjoy when you smoke a cigarette is not the cigarette itself, but the ends of the aggravation of craving it.
There it is, the lowdown on nicotine addiction. Carr says once smokers realize this, they'll be able to quit. But for the remaining 10% who still can't let go, consider this. The key to your addiction may be summed up in the words of Oscar Wilde, who said, "A cigarette is the perfect type of pleasure. It is exquisite, and it leaves one unsatisfied."
Jennifer Lee with that report. That wraps up